Okay. Yeah. Okay, we're back in our work session. This is an informal setting where we have very rough agendas and unstructured time during those agenda items. The first item on our agenda this morning is County Auditor Kevin Robinson to discuss his assessment of the 2026 World Cup sales tax revenue. So you can stand, you can sit, whatever you want. There's chairs.
Testing,
Can you, is that on?
testing.
Yeah.
Okay. A little different setting. Okay.
Yeah.
Commissioners, good morning. Not quite what I was anticipating, but as a work session, but okay.
It's a little small down there in that room.
There we go. You know, that's fine. As already stated today, World Cup's coming, and it is going to be fabulous for the region. Going back to budget development at the time, as I've stated before, didn't know what teams, what schedules, and to me, this was going to be any type of revenue lift was going to be a windfall. There's been ongoing communications and statements about there's enough out of
I'm sorry. I'm listening.
there should be enough activity out of the World Cup in Platte County to fund the 2.5% change to the budget, wages and related expenses. I've been hearing that comment and made the decision to take a look at that and give you some information whether to support that thought process or give you some information to say, we need to wait and see. We're not going to spend money that we don't know what it is because there's not been an event like this in Kansas City prior. So I put this together, did some research. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. That the lift that I have calculated in here is way under what actually happens. But I am going to be, as I've been since I've been in office, on the conservative side and try to approach this realistically. In some of the information, you know, it was quoted again this morning, 650,000 people. I don't know where that number came from, but I used that number because that's what KC 2026 used as a basis. But as stated in my executive summary, and I think the document's pretty direct and straightforward, I'm not sure. I was glad to entertain any questions you might have. But as I stated in my conclusion, I do not recommend you make any changes to the 26 budget based on World Cup.
I don't have any questions.
Yeah, I read through your analysis and again, sent you a message. Yeah, that I appreciate the thoroughness and totally agree with your conclusion that, and we hope we're wrong. We hope that the revenues come in higher, but I appreciate some of the comments in there about, perhaps there are visitors that are spending more, but then it could be offset by residents who, because it's so busy, choose to leave town or stay home. And so there's some offset there that we just don't know how it's going to shake out. So I totally appreciate the perspective on that. And I think that we will take your recommendation to not make an amendment to our budget for increased revenues. Because again, I've been saying since January, we can't spend money that we don't have yet. So
Yes, ma'am, you have.
we hope that we get that money and we can spend it in 2027, but we can't spend money we don't have. So.
Right. And if you look at the businesses that are potentially impacted, and I didn't go into that in this report, most of them are quarterly reporters. So we won't
Sure.
even see that till the third quarter. Some of them are annual reporters. We
Right.
won't see that money till 27.
Right.
So it's really, again, I think my findings are probably on the conservative side at 0.8. But again, it is an unknown. The
Yeah.
city hasn't, and I do believe with, and not to cast stones at MoDOT or anything else, but between construction and different things that are going on, I think you're going to see a lot of displacement of traditional spending behaviors because people in the congestion don't want to deal with it.
Sure.
So it's a shift. It's not what I don't like about a lot of these economic models that are built based on quote unquote new revenue, starting at ground zero, that there's no current activity. I don't like those models. And that's what this, in that, I think it was the 623 million that KC 26 is projecting is based on that model of new revenue.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe there's that much opportunity in Jackson County, Clay County, and some other areas.
Right.
But in Platte County, there's not that much opportunity.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, we have the benefit of having the airport and the people traveling through once they arrive. But we don't have any matches being held here in the county, and none of the official events are in the county. So it's really even harder to know how it's going to impact us.
It is. And I applaud Clay County and Platte County in their Go Green North initiative.
Yeah.
You know what? I
That's
hope
great.
that helps.
Yeah.
I hope that helps get people educated on the opportunities that are here, and maybe we'll get a little bit bigger piece of the pie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
if
we're
all the
hosting a handful
activities-
of watch parties, which is awesome, but we don't
Yeah.
know the attendance of those. And yeah.
Right. And I know it's off subject and I'm not anywhere near prepared, but I think the county year after year is going to see a lot more activity coming from the amphitheater than they are this one-time event.
Yeah.
But again, and when we built the budget, I didn't know there was going to be 32 bookings through the warmer months. Who knew that? That wasn't public information.
Right.
So again, that's not included in the sales tax, and that's why I'm going to take a look at that also. But again, it's money that we don't have, and it's probably a little easier to quantify and say, yeah, we should be able to see X lift, because it is in Platte County and the ticket sales are here, and there's not state legislation that's waiving local and state taxes on ticket sales that I'm aware of.
Are there tax relief? This
I
is
don't know
for-
that yet, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm trying, that's stuff, some of the stuff I'm trying to
Unknown.
verify.
Okay.
I wish I could answer that, but I can't
So it
today.
might be small at first, and who knows? Okay.
And then the question is it retail or is it property?
Right.
So I don't know that yet.
Yeah.
I will before I put a report together, because that's critical.
Chris?
Do you want to step up? And there's another microphone.
Sorry, I'm hard of hearing.
When Kevin showed me this, and I agree completely with what he came up with, a lot of things I hadn't thought about, the offsetting and things like that. But I do think we're going to have additional expenses that will not be covered by reimbursing back. They're just intrinsic
what?
costs within the sheriff's department. I was talking to a couple of the guys from the office over there. There's things that they're going to have to do that aren't necessarily things we can bill anybody for, but it's going to cost more money. So I think hedging on not trying to project any increase in income, because I think we're going to see it on both sides. We're going to have expenses that we don't expect right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm 100% with Kevin on this.
Yeah.
Look
And
at it as gravy.
I anticipate similarly that we will probably expenses will exceed our revenues for this event.
What about the $59 million that Mark has that's going to reimburse for overtime? Is that, you're talking about expenses in addition to that?
Well, yeah, and like I said, we will get some of that back for direct expenses like overtime, but there's other things that the sheriff's department's going to have to do that we're not going to be reimbursed for. They were
We haven't
talking about
heard anything,
encryption.
we haven't heard anything about that or any.
Encryption keys with the radios that they have to re-encrypt every radio from everybody that comes in from surrounding areas, and then redo the encryption after they all leave.
What is the cost of that?
I couldn't tell you. This is just conversation.
Yeah.
But that got me to thinking there are other things. Are we going to have additional traffic control? Maybe not necessarily overtime, but it's going to be additional resources that we're using. So I don't know. Just thoughts.
If you recall in the budget, we built an events department within the sheriff's department specifically for World Cup to start. And it has several line items, basically, because we did not know when we built the budget, but it has several that we could do revenue, receiving revenue and paying out of expenses. There are other things. I'm not sure I'm at liberty to discuss some of the stuff the sheriff is doing in anticipation to be able to handle possibly some of these hooligans, I think they were called a while ago. But, there are expenses I think we will occur in, but yes, over time, my understanding is we should be reimbursed for it. But FIFA, as of even last week, I still had people telling me they're still changing the rules. So I know that money is not necessarily from FIFA, but I'm not sure that that's even been totally formulated. The last briefing I had, it wasn't. It's what for the terms and conditions for the reimbursements of that.
Yeah, clearly there's going to be increased expenses, increased revenue. I mean, sitting where we're sitting here today, this sounds like punching at shadows to me. And when we have real impacts on the county, we can deal with those.
Yeah, hopefully the increased expenses are covered by the hopeful increased revenues, and hopefully we come out.
Exactly. Come a little ahead. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so our intent is to track the expenses that are directly related to, even if they're potentially reimbursable in that events department. So we can give you a strong number
Yeah.
of what it costs the county. It's
Sure.
not going to be buried in other line items.
Good.
Understood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for the
great.
very good report. We
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I've got a question, just since this might be printed in a newspaper. The one thing I thought you might explain a little bit more, there's a line in your report, historically, actual realized impacts are often 25 to 60% of the projections once substitution, leakage, and costs are accounted for. We've talked about costs, but do you want to explain more what you mean by substitution and leakage, just for the lay person to understand what that means?
So displacement or substitution kind of goes back to Commissioner, what we were talking about with the compaction. So you and your family would normally go to 54th Street on Friday night, but because of all the people here, when you get there, 54th Street is so crowded you can't get in. So you look at a couple of the restaurants, all of them are on a 2-hour wait, so you go home. Or, as I've had some friends tell me, they plan on leaving town. So that's a displacement. Or leakage, which is another term I used in there, of people that they're going to rent their house for 2 weeks and they're going to go out of town through part of this, the first part of it, because they don't want to deal with it. And those type of short-term rentals, will we ever see anything from those? Because my understanding is you don't have to report it until it's 30 days. So again, that's leakage and revenue that if they were at a hotel, we would potentially see, or not potentially, we would see.
Right.
So the displacement, the leakage, all of the different terms I use in there are just, it's a shifting of, it's a very common in economics to understand that, equal forces will drive a change to consumers' behavior. And that's the premise behind that.
Okay. What about, you have in here, actual realized impacts are often 25 to 60% of the projections. What's the basis for that statement?
So that was off the 2004 study in Germany of the World Cup, the impact in there.
2004, 2024.
2004, that was the newest I could find on that type of displacement study. And that was basically, the shift was roughly a 21% decrease is what they could quantify, or excuse me, in that study, the research showed that the projections were significantly higher than what was actually realized.
Mhm.
And in my calculations, I used the 21%, which is kind of the displacement qualifier, if you will, or variable. Again, it's a total unknown, and it's just off historical events that I, try to come up with something that made a little bit of common sense.
Mm-hmm. In a normal year, we get the sales tax numbers reported monthly, but they come in quarterly. Is that
And
Is it
we
2
get-
month? Is it a 2 month
So
delay?
two different things. We get sales tax reported from the state, which is what Chris, our treasurer, reports to us every month. There's a disbursement. The larger entities in Platte County have to report their sales tax collections monthly.
Okay.
Smaller businesses report quarterly. Really small businesses report annually.
Okay.
So when a mom and pop restaurant sends in their sales tax collections for the second quarter, they're doing it, second quarter being April, May, June, they're doing it in July. And that's what I was referencing, is it would be the third quarter before these sales taxes will even be reported by some of these mom and pop shops.
Right, so so part of the World Cup is June, part's July, so even then, part will come.
Correct.
Some might even come fourth quarter.
It,
Yeah, yeah,
As Kevin said, some are annuals, those could have pushed in.
right.
and I know there's some employment that will be going on prior to people coming in to do some construction work and whatnot. So and that's why I really use May, June. And again, the couple games at the end will have a much smaller, in my mind, will have a much smaller crowd, even though it could potentially be as large. But we're down to those couple playoffs games. But the pre-tournament employment, just like at the airport, I think will help us see a little bit, because these guys are here living for the 3 weeks prior to do some construction, and 3 weeks after to deconstruct what they put up. So we'll see an expanded, but again, when we're talking a hotel's tax, we're talking pretty low number. That the sheriff last year during construction was complaining about people at the hotel doing cookouts. Well, that's going to be some of that same crowd.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Anybody else want to comment on this topic? Questions? Yeah. You want to come up to the microphone so we can hear you?
My name's Jim Bosch, and I have one question. As the games play on and they get further in the brackets or whatever, they gain more significance maybe. May they not gain more attention from the people that are here to watch those games maybe? And as they follow through, the crowds for each game may get more larger, generating more revenue
It-
possibly.
Could go either way. If the teams that are using us as a home base lose,
Right.
then the games won't be here,
This is true.
or wherever the schedule pushes them out to. Or, if they're flying in from Dallas and Los Angeles for the game that's here, they're not going to stay here after the game. Yes, for that. And that's why I was saying we could see the little burst of activity associated with those playoff games, that we're not having the long-term residencies in the hotels and activity again. But it's all unknown because we haven't
Right.
done it.
Right.
But yeah, if our teams are out, then it's a very short infusion of economic activity.
Okay. Just a thought.
Yeah.
Thanks.
It's a good question. Thank you.
All right. Well, if there's nothing else, we'll conclude this session. Thank you. I'm sorry. Yes.
I'll be very brief. And this is really, I don't know. Mr. Vanover, your lawyer, can tell us. I don't think this is a violation of the Open Records Act, but I just want to ensure that you all did receive and review the email I sent on VOCA. I know that I've done something that you would have preferred. I didn't. Fortunately, it's not going to have a negative budget impact. I think it's the right thing for us to do. We will need to plan for what happens next year. I can't tell you exactly.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but if we're not going to talk anymore about the World Cup
Is this
study,
the
then I think we
next
should,
agenda item? Yeah.
then I think we should move on from that, and then we can just talk about that as much as you want.
Hey, sure. Hey, I'm just about done. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think we were done. No,
Yeah, I think, yeah.
if you have
Next-
something to discuss about the World Cup, study
No.
that
No.
Kevin, okay, then we'll,
Okay, next
then I think
week.
we're done.
Yeah.
Kevin?
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
That was
Folks, thank
Yeah.
you. I
Really-
appreciate the opportunity to present
Yeah.
great.
these
Yeah.
thoughts to you.
Thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, I'm sorry, I just
All right,
wanted
yeah.
to make sure
And so I just want to make sure
we're
you
done.
read it. We can talk about it more right now if you want, or later once you have had time to digest it. Really, I think at this point, the only thing I'm trying to do is highlight something that right now we don't know. The same reason we didn't put any money in the budget last year. And what we should know, because these grants come from the federal government, the fiscal years are all screwy, right? We do everything January to December except healthcare, which we do, July to June. The state, as you all know, goes July to June. The federal government goes October or maybe November 1 to October 31 or October 1 to September. I can't remember which. So all of the timings make things difficult when we're doing budgeting. But I hope and think we'll have a decent idea by the time we've got to do a 2027 budget. I know Mr. Fricker won't be here, but I presume you guys will be. And so I'll just keep you advised of what's happened as best I can. I will know what's happening because I'm very involved in at the federal level, and I'm not on the committee of the Missouri Association of Prosecuting Attorneys that does it locally, but I know all those people on that committee. And so I'm just saying, I'll keep you advised as things move along.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll have our budget talks. The auditor will let us know the budget cycle starting in August and those conversations that get started to talk about the 2027 budget. So,
And as you guys know, I've said it a lot of times, Joe heard it from the very beginning of when I was elected, that I think we're doing our jobs best. When you guys do your job, I'm doing my job. My job keeps me over in that building a whole lot more than this building. I'm happy to come to this building anytime. Anytime you need me, you've all got my cell phone. Just don't hesitate to call. I will. Can't always drop everything, but I promise you I'll call you back within 24 hours.
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else have anything else to talk about? We have a 12 o'clock meeting.
1 o'clock. Oh, well, are we still, I think we just had that, right?
No, we have a 12 o'clock meeting with Council Rob Redmond.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
So,
got it.
so if there's anything else to discuss, we'll take a break and
A little bio break and then we'll get
meet
back
up
at
again
work
downstairs at
session.
noon. Okay. Recorder Wright has a contribution to the discussion.
I don't know. Are we talking about anything?
Anything you want.
Yeah, it's work session, so
All right,
anything
work
goes. We
session.
have a
You wanna
number of
talk
things
about,
on our agenda, but.
About
but yeah, what,
the Golden Oaks hockey team, or what are they? We can talk about that if you want. The Golden something.
Golden Knights?
Golden Knights, yeah.
No, we have in the recorder's office, since we've been in the basement, we are having continued issues with the internet. I don't know if it is the bandwidth or what it is.
Are we?
but
I don't think we're talking about the internet today, are we?
we
we happen to have a representative from IT here in the room, so maybe he can help
Yeah.
us discuss this.
Have you talked to Mike about that? You're
Feels like-
welcome to go around us and talk directly to Mike. We'll give you that permission.
I just want to complain.
I know, I was at a party this weekend and someone said, how you doing? Or I said, how you doing? And he said, oh, can't complain. How about you? I said, well, I can complain.
Chris, did you have any
Mr. Mike, I
additional
have
expected
internet
expenses
issues.
for World Cup? Are you going to have any extra expenses for World Cup? Maybe you're going to increase in marriage activity or
By the way, last week when we were at our work session, the number of people that came by thinking we were the recorder's office looking to get a marriage license, I was like, wow, I didn't know how many
that
people
business is booming for you, isn't it?
really come.
Yeah, we've increased. So last year we actually set a record in Platte County for marriage licenses issued.
That's fantastic.
So, and we are continuing
Good to have people get married.
possibly exceed that record again this year with the numbers, just what we've had so far.
Interesting.
So,
So
yeah.
anyway, so your Wi-Fi is not working well.
Yeah, it's not working very well.
You are single-handedly
Did you
doing your best to
did
avoid
you fill
depopulation.
out a help desk ticket?
I filled out many help desk
You did,
tickets,
okay.
Commissioner.
Just want to make sure it gets in the queue the right way.
Yeah.
What kind of issues are you having?
Well, we still have issues where, just our internet is very slow. Our when we try to take credit card payment, it doesn't connect, it times out. We're
The
just-
Wi-Fi
we're just
or
having-
There's
wired?
issues with your bank with the connection with those credit card machines, but that's the bank software. That's not on the network side. It's not your internet connection
No, we're doing it manually because those,
because there's issues with the bank software.
okay. Yeah.
You might need to get a new vendor to have some good software to do that.
Well, we have a new vendor.
I'm more than happy to get on the call with the bank, with Travis, but there are no internet issues down there.
Mike, do you still have him on a dial-up? I think he's on a dial-up still, isn't he?
Yeah, I got the AOL damn connection down
Yeah.
there. I'm just
Get
like.
the-
I mean,
Maybe, all right, maybe
I
we
have
can
not
upgrade it.
worked in the basement, but I've worked on the first
I think we
floor and
need a new
second floor.
CD so we can.
And I feel like the Wi-Fi, whenever I've been on the first or second floor anyway, has been great, but I've not worked in the basement, so I don't
The
know.
basement's not very good, Commissioner. I know my phone cuts out all of the time. We don't have very good reception.
Well, that's different than Wi-Fi, right?
Isn't
Well,
there a
I'm
way,
connected to the Wi-Fi on my phone because I don't have any reception. So
Got it.
isn't there a way to test that? Just
I can test it, but there is no issue with Wi-Fi. down
Like-
there. But I'll come down and
the Google
We can
Fiber
look at
speed test?
yeah.
You've done that and it's really low.
No, I haven't. No, I was saying yes, there is a way. I was answering. I'm sorry, I'm answering your question. No, we haven't done that, Commissioner. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, let's test that. And
later on, I'll come down and we'll look at it.
Okay. All right.
Do you have complaints about anything else?
Yeah. Other than that, yeah, World Cup is coming. We're excited.
Yeah.
So we'll be going. So-
you going to some games?
Yeah. So we're rooting for the Netherlands, obviously, and my son.
What,
you
and
know,
or
so-
like go orange or something, or is that how what they
Hoop
do?
Holland Hoop. So it's go
Okay.
Holland Hoop. Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you, commissioners.
All right. Thanks.
All right. All right. Anything
Um,
else, anybody?
We've got, well, where's Wes? We have county administrator updates, but he's off doing something.
I mean, newsworthy stuff, we might be done. You just want to head down to room 110?
Boy, do you want to give a news update? Any weather, anything?
Weather. Is it 90 today or 40 today?
Well, we'll take the work session down to room 110, which
Is
is,
our 12 o'clock, is that a closed session for, do we need to enter closed session?
possibly, we'll get Redmond and go downstairs and maybe do it early since he's here.
Okay, and so it might need to be closed session. Okay, got it.
Not sure.
Okay.